Hello and welcome back to the vlog, welcome back to the car, welcome back to Cornwall, welcome back to spring, and welcome back to a day without rain. Now I've said this before, in fact I've said this before this year on a vlog, and that was incorrect because I made a mistake. In fact, the afternoon after I recorded that vlog it probably rained, because it's rained most days since last October. It has been so wet here that farmers are now saying, hey, we can't grow any food. It is becoming a bit of a problem. What do? We can't even just switch over to a different crop and say grow rice, because the fields are flooded one day and not the next. So it's become wholly disruptive. It's very, very strange. And I've not really known weather like this down here ever. It didn't even get that cold over the winter. There was one day where I had to scrape ice off the windshield of the car in order to go to work. There is a can of de-icer in the back of the car, which is several years old and just doesn't seem to get used anymore. The winters are definitely warmer and wetter, and in terms of wetness, a couple of years ago, all of our reservoirs were completely drained. Well, they were very dry in order, sort of in the way that villages were appearing from the water where valleys had been flooded in the past in order to make these reservoirs. But now, looking at the charts, the reservoirs are completely full and have been for months. And while we are right next to the sea, flooding has been happening in the roads, it's been happening just everywhere. There's a path at work which we walk round at break and lunchtime. There is a lake at work that we walk round, and the path itself was so wet it actually turned into cartoon quicksand. As in, you put your foot down and it just carried on going down to a point where, well, me and one of my friends at work were just like, yeah, we probably shouldn't take this path anymore. Oh, a flood sign. How apt. So we're going to be taking it easy because it is April, and because some of the traffic will be local traffic, some of the traffic will in fact be holiday traffic. The kids have gone back to school after the very, very early Easter bank holiday. So Easter is a double bank holiday in the United Kingdom. It is, what is it? It's something like, it's a time period after the first full moon or something. There is a lunar cycle that Easter is tied to. So Jesus respawned, he used a +1, came back to life, and, oh, this person's slowing down, that's neat. We'll just give him a little wave, thank you. And just come through here, because it gets super narrow through here. Yeah, Jesus respawned, but it turns out that the day that he respawned on kind of varies. So it's almost as if they kind of put it over a pagan holiday. I don't quite know what's going on there, or in fact where that road goes, but that's beside the point. And I know what you're thinking. For a car that has been going through floods and rains and has been driven up to Bristol and back in the last couple of weeks, it's looking pretty clean. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed. Yes, I washed it and waxed it, and I've polished it and covered it in silicone spray and done all of the things that you need to do to make it super shiny and sparkly. I haven't shampooed the interior because I was coming out. What I'm going to do is slow down and let this lad past. Oh! I don't know what the bike is, but I know it's an 80s bike, a bike from the 1980s. I really wish I had my old motorbikes. I used to have a CX500 and a CX650 Hondas. I miss them. But yeah, beside the point. Yeah, I spent all morning cleaning the car because it's like a pastime. Vacuumed it, but not shampooed the interior. This is not anything that you need to know, because the vlog is really going to be about... There's always like a preamble, you know? The vlog really is about making mistakes. And I've made a few. Oh, I've made a few, I have. So for everyone who's been here for a very long time, this is Hell's Mouth, by the way. It's a very steep cliff, little tea room, and occasionally people do a Superman off of it. Takes all folks, I guess. Yeah, no, I make mistakes, like talking about Hell's Mouth probably. And there was one that I did before Christmas last year. I recorded several videos back to back, and I got myself in a bit of a pickle because I was going away for Christmas. I was going up to my sister's in Bristol, and I was going to be away for maybe a whole week, which means if I wanted to get videos out to you guys, I needed to pre-record them, and I don't typically pre-record. Today is Sunday. This video will go out tomorrow, maybe today. I'm not entirely sure, because there's no plan. It's a hobbyist channel. But before Christmas, I was recording a bunch of stuff, and I got myself a little tired. I was kind of exhausted, gonna be honest, trying to get all that sorted and get prepared to go away and sort out Christmas presents and things. It was a lot to squeeze into the time that I had. And I did a video on the Titanic. So there is a project called Honor and Glory, or Project 401, depending on which branch it is. So Demo 401 is a recreation of the RMS Titanic. That is the Titanic from the Titanic film, the one that actually sunk in, April 1912. Was it 1912 or 1914? No, 1912? See, this is the problem. I have a problem with numbers, specifically numbers. I know the answer, but now I'm going to second guess myself. And that was the problem I had when I was recording the video. I thought, I'll do a half-hour video. I'll just explore the ship, see what's there. Because they're doing a recreation of Titanic, nuts, bolts and all. There's rooms. There's about 50% of the ship that you can actually wander around and explore. And I got most of the information right. The motorized fans that suck air into the ship, they're Scirocco fans. They're centrifugal fans. And I got most of the information right, but I said something, and I didn't even notice it. I said that Titanic's sister ships were Britannic and Oceanic. Because it begins with an O and ends in IC, I didn't even cotton on to my mistake. Even when somebody said, "You've made a mistake, you've said the wrong word," but they didn't give me a timestamp in their comment. They just said, "You're stupid. Oh, you're stupid. You said the wrong word." And I'm like, oh, maybe I am, but I couldn't work out what they were talking about because I didn't know that I'd said something wrong. So when it came to another comment a couple of months later, the commenter said, "You said the wrong thing, and this is what you said." And I went, oh, that is completely wrong. And I know this is completely wrong because I don't know. I get words. I don't see the words. I see the object in my mind. So I saw Olympic, Titanic's sister ship. I've seen pictures of Olympic. I know what Olympic looks like. She is the namesake of the Olympic class, which is what Titanic was. But I said Oceanic, and I just completely glossed over it in my mind because the word is not a picture. So I was just like, oh, that's the mistake that I made. That's why the first commenter got upset and put a thumbs down on video. That's why people were like, most of it's okay. But I can't let that stand. So I can either just gloss over it as a YouTuber and just go, yeah, whatever, misinformation, who cares? Or I can try and correct the video. You can't replace a video on YouTube, but you can mute audio. You can do some things to it, or you can put text over the top of the video. I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to be that person. So what I chose to do instead was to re-record the whole thing, and I did that last weekend. It took from 11 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the evening. I did a lot more research. I broke the actual video down into 15 separate sections, an intro and 14 sections within the video, and then I did a lot of research. I gave information on who was in the crow's nest, what they were saying, at what time of day. I gave information on the type of telephone that was in the crow's nest, and the bell, and basically how you could just shout to the bridge because the bridge was open. I gave information on steam pressure and temperature in the triple expansion steam engines, and the steam pressure after it left the triple expansion steam engines and went into Titanic's turbine. I gave information on who was in what room, and I gave their names, and in some cases what they saw on the night of the sinking. So yeah, you can't just leave the mistake. I can't have the mistake just left there. So I deleted the original video, I deleted the comments and the views, just go with it. So it's just like, whatever, it's gone. And the new video is up, and hopefully it's factually sound. To make a mistake as an amateur historian is kind of embarrassing. This watch is a Zeppelin. It is made by Pointec, it's part of the Zeppelin brand, and it is Hindenburg LZ129. And I know a lot about Hindenburg. I know a lot about the Graf Zeppelin, I know about the company, I know about Friedrichshafen, I know about their entire history, basically. But if I was to record a video now on the history of the Zeppelin Aircraft Company and of Hindenburg, I'd probably make mistakes, embarrassing ones. So I don't really want to... Hi, no, I turned you off. I don't really want to go into that. I mean, I'd like to do more history style videos, but I've got to make sure I get the actual words right, not just the picture in my head. Which is a problem when you think more in pictures than in words or numbers. It's just how I am. But you might also say, well, how many times does it take you to record a video? And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, well, do you make mistakes on gameplay videos? Because the channel is mostly gameplay orientated. Yes, I do genuinely make a lot of mistakes on gameplay videos. So we do Stranded Deep. There's something like 730 videos on Stranded Deep. And because of that, I have done the intro to Stranded Deep 730 times. We've settled into one that is, hello and welcome back to Stranded Deep, welcome back to Pacific Paradise, and welcome back to this island we find ourselves on. But the other day I was recording a Stranded Deep video, I couldn't remember the intro. I had to watch an old video to remember what I said. It's like, that's a bit of a problem. Not a huge problem, but it's a problem. The video that went up on, as I record, Saturday, yes, Saturday? Starfleet Academy, Star Trek Starfleet Academy. It's a video game that came out in 1997. I played the absolute butt off of that game. Love it. Very old game. A lot of effort had to go into making the first episode very special because it's an old game. So I included overlays, I included a lot more information than I would normally include. I even included what type of graphics card I would have been playing on in 1997. Spoilers, it wasn't a 3DFX Voodoo 3, which in the original video I put up, and I was like, oh, so it caught that in the edit, and I was like, right, well, what I need to do is re-record that sentence, cut it into the video, and then take a photo of my 3DFX righteous 3DFX Orchid, which was not a graphics card, but a graphics accelerator. So the Voodoo 1 was a graphics accelerator, and yes, the photographs in the Starfleet Academy video that went up a couple of days ago, that all of those taken on wood, so that's a wood chopping board that I have. All of those videos, all of those photographs, they are all things that I still have. So I still have the thermal probe with the K-type thermocouples, I still have the Rei Ayanami statue, I still have season 2 of Farscape on DVD in the boxes. So I put a photograph of my desk up, which was around the time that I would have been playing Starfleet Academy, just as a fun little thing. And then at the end of the video, I just put photographs of things up that were in that image, because it's kind of a low res, kind of a soft image. So yeah, sometimes you find mistakes and you can correct them. Sometimes you find mistakes and you can't correct them. So when I did Jurassic Park Trespasser, it took me something like 15 attempts to record the intro to the video, because I had to talk about Jurassic Park, I had to talk about the films, I had to talk about so much stuff, and I just kept making verbal mistakes. I kept saying the wrong word, or I kept stammering on a word, or I kept doing something that made it just not perfect. It's not ever going to be perfect. I'm one person with a camera, or I'm one person recording gameplay videos, and I'm editing all this myself, but it's not ever going to be 100%, but I need it to be as good as I can make it. Just for me and for you guys. When it comes to the car and when it comes to vlogs, yes, the vlogs start in medias res. Now I'm going to say that slowly because I've seen so many people make this mistake. It's not in media res because it's Latin, so it's medias, M-E-D-I-A-S, in medias res. And that is straight into the action, and that is what you get in the car. We are already driving, we don't start from somewhere, well, we do end somewhere, but there's no intro, there's no start, there's no nothing. What is this doing rattling around? So in medias res, but it does take a few attempts to get the intro done for a vlog. So for example, I'll be doing a vlog and I'll just like, hello and welcome to the vlog, welcome to the car, welcome to Cornwall, welcome to, and then we stop for some reason. There's a red light or somebody pulls in front of you and it's just like, well, this isn't going to be a very interesting start to the vlog. Is it a mistake? By me, yeah, I should have probably driven somewhere else or just tried to start somewhere else instead of just being here. You are going to rattle around, aren't you? It's a new phone and normally I just put my phone in the cup holder, but I'm going to need to find somewhere else for it to be like not there. Anyway, yeah, it does mean that, okay, we're okay. It does mean that if I make too many mistakes on the intro of a vlog, essentially what I have to do is hold for action. Let's just make sure we're not pulling out in front of anyone. We're only going one junction down anyway, so not to worry. Yeah, if I make too many mistakes, what I have to do is pull over to the side of the road, stop the cameras, and start recording again, because the 360-degree camera, the main camera, only records for half an hour, and then it stops for like 10 seconds, and then it will start recording again. The GoPro will just carry on happily, but the GoPro is not stabilized in any sense of the word. It's just mounted on the windshield, so that's kind of a fun one. So making mistakes is just part of making videos. Sometimes you can correct them, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to re-record, not fade away. So yeah, that's what I had to do with the Titanic video. And quite often you just won't notice. Sometimes, especially in War Thunder videos, I'll say the wrong number. I said, oh, hello and welcome to I think the last video is like welcome to a 1.7 and it was a 2.7 lineup. I can just cut that out, re-record those numbers and pop them back in. There are times when videos go up and I've made a mistake and it's just gonna be in the video. That's just how life is gonna be for that video, and it's quite often not enough to go and re-record it again because I'm not gonna get anything for it. I know this channel, it's a hobbyist channel, I know how many views I'm gonna get per video. It's a surprise when we get more than 100, plot twist. But there is a third mistake that we make, not the ones on the intro, not the ones where I say something wrong, and not the ones where, well, there are the ones where I just deliberately say something wrong. I'm just gonna check. Oh yeah, lots of traffic. This is kind of a difficult junction. Oh, we got a Nissan Juke. Nissan Juke? Yeah, the world's most ugliest car. Behold, but don't throw up into your own eyes, not just yet. Ooh, it's ugly. Phone, yep. I'm gonna have to find somewhere else for that, maybe the glove box. Yeah, so there is the third type of mistake, and that is not the mistake that is obvious. That is one that I put in deliberately. That is the one where I'm messing around. Wait a minute. So Charlie Sheen wasn't in Hudson Hawk? I don't know. You tell me. Was he swinging on a moonbeam in Hudson Hawk, Charlie Sheen? Dunno. So yeah, I'm quite, because I really like film. I like film and television, and I like throwing things in. Like, I do like to remind you of David Bowie's lack of codpiece in films like Labyrinth. You knew I was going to say Labyrinth. I could see the whole thing in my mind. Oh, you don't want to go that way? They're taking us straight to the castle. Yeah, do love Labyrinth. Do love 80s films. 80s films have something that modern films don't. Modern films have an over-reliance on CG and we'll just fix it in post. 80s films, you kind of had to do it either in camera or you had to do things like have a matte painting or there's so much like physical, technical stuff that goes on. And so I do like dropping film facts, but also just messing with you. In fact, in Titanic, there are a few times when I just kind of messed with the audience, and I don't know if anyone picked those times up. Right at the end of the video, because the video is like an hour and 4 minutes, the Titanic walk-around video, and I threw in bunches of facts, but I think there were 3 facts that were spurious. And I know one was about the 2.5-ton cargo crane at the back of Titanic, because there were several over the well decks, because there was cargo. There were cargo holds on it, so you had to winch stuff up and over. You didn't put a cargo container on board Titanic. And the 2.5-ton crane, it's good. It's not good enough to lift your mum. Just gloss over it and move on. I know there was that, and I know there was something to do with the urinals as well. Oh, urinal etiquette. Because I know that 50% of the audience might never have used a urinal in a gentleman's restroom. Urinal etiquette. And this actually comes from I put it in the Titanic video, which is why I'm talking about it. I did, I think it was a cartoon, and I can't remember, it's like a webcomic, and I can't remember which webcomic it was. The urinal etiquette is, the first person into a bathroom goes to the urinal far left. The second person goes in far right, and if there's only 3 urinals, the third person comes in and goes in the sink. That's urinal etiquette in a gentleman's bathroom. But so I made mention of that because there's only 2 urinals in the steward's bathroom on Titanic. And I was like, is anyone going to pick me up on that? Nobody has. Like, there's no comments on the video. There's quite a few likes, but no comments, apart from the one that I put up saying this is a re-recording with more information and more facts. Don't know what they're doing here. Yellow pipes. I think yellow pipes are pee pipes, so it's probably sewage, but only for liquids. Yeah, cool. Ooh, 5-way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way lights. We might actually grow old and die here. An interesting one. It's always a bit of a problem when you're doing a vlog in a car like this, and you want the motion and you want the movement, and then you are forced to stop, either for traffic. We've had a few where we've been driving up to Bristol, and summer traffic is appalling, absolutely appalling, and you just end up stopped in the road for perhaps hours. Last time I went to Bristol, I was going to do another 3-hour vlog. I was going to plug all the cameras in and just drive up to Bristol. Glad I didn't. I actually got as far as the turn-off for Castle Drogo. Castle Drogo is not a castle. I think it's like a manor house, a very beautiful manor house at that. But I got just past that turn-off and the traffic just stopped, like 100% stopped. And I was there for an hour and a half because there was an aggregate truck broken down in the road, and he'd been broken down there for 3 o'clock in the afternoon to certainly 8 o'clock in the evening, and perhaps longer, and nobody was there. No police, nobody to rescue this lad. So yeah, big old aggregate lorry just stuffed in the road. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes you have to edit around them, and sometimes you just have to roll with it. But oh, cables. Yeah, definitely. That's just pee. That's pee pipes for extracting pee from Connor Downs. Good. I tell you what, I'm going to leave it here for the time being because I don't think there's too much more we can talk about. Yeah, so upshot is the car is clean. You're going to make the beepings because, of course you are. The car is clean. The rain has largely stopped, but we don't know how long for. We expect more rain in the not too distant future, and in fact, I think the prediction is probably a hot, wet summer, and not the nice kind of wet either. The sort of wet where you go, oh, this ain't right. do make mistakes. Sometimes I can correct them in the edit, sometimes I have to re-record, and sometimes I just have to start over again. So that's just a fact of YouTube. And hoping everyone watching this is okay. Hope you guys are safe and well. Once again, thank you everyone who's donated using the Ko-fi link down below. That does get used to buy stuff for the channel. So anything that's needed to run the channel itself, that's kind of handy because I can just be like, oh, I need a thing. I can just check to see how much is in the account, and maybe I can just get it with the donations. And so far that's been kind of working out, so that is really helping. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna leave it here. So like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. If you want notifications, dingle the bingle. If you don't want notifications, don't click the bell, and I'll tell you what, I'll catch you next time.